We'll follow the outlying agenda focusing on discussions regarding the permanent ceasefire, the progress of implementing the transitional security arrangements, and updates from the previous board meeting held on September 27, 2024. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the ceasefire remains intact in the areas mentioned by CTSAMVM's monitoring and verification teams during this reporting period. However, we have received reports of clashes in Nassar County, Upper Nile State, and civilian casualties in Wondroba Paya, Central Equatoria State. CTSAMVM condemns these acts and urges the signatory parties to the RRCs to seek peaceful resolutions to such issues. Currently, there is one fire violation report to discuss: clashes between armed civilian and the SSA PDF in Nassar County that occurred in August 2024. This incident has been followed by additional clashes on October 16 and 17, 2024. Investigations are in fact ongoing. CTSAMVM has prepared a detailed report for our discussion today, while ongoing de-escalation efforts are in place. The region remains volatile. We continue to urge the parties to adhere to Chapter 2 of the RRCs and to ensure the protection of civilians as prescribed in the Agreement on the Cessation of Hostilities, ACOH. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, communities in South Central Equatoria continues to live in fear of attacks or abductions by armed groups such as the National Salvation Front. The aftermath of the attack on the Bitew bus has been extensively documented. The recent wave of attacks has also led to the abduction of humanitarian workers for ransom, further jeopardizing vulnerable rural communities and returning refugees as access to humanitarian aid diminishes. CTSAMVM remains committed to promoting, monitoring, and verifying Chapter 2 of the RRCs. Despite these challenges, we continue to support our teams across the country. Our monitoring and verification teams in Juba successfully conducted a long-duration patrol in Eastern Equatoria State, engaging with local leaders to foster cooperation and monitor compliance with the peace agreement. Similarly, the team in WAU conducted a long-duration patrol in Bahr El Ghazal State to monitor and verify compliance with the ceasefire in the areas of responsibility. The team in Malakal has also carried out dynamic air patrol in Rank. We will discuss the findings and observations from these patrols in the next board meeting. CTSAMVM headquarters will continue visiting all monitoring and verification teams in the coming sessions to ensure their operational conditions and support our activities. Most recently, a team from headquarters visited Malakal on October 11, 2024 to assess the situation and operations of the monitoring and verification team. As we do not possess organic aviation assets, we rely fully on support from our UNAMIS colleagues. I would like to take this opportunity to express my great appreciation to UNAMIS for their continued support in air transportation, force protection, and other administrative issues. In a letter dated September 27, 2024, the Joint Defense Board provided a partial update on the deployment of Phase 1 of the necessary unified force. However, The JDB didn't provide details on the locations or strengths of the deployments, only a proposed timeline for progress. The civil society has high expectations regarding the deployment of the unified forces, and we urge that this be prioritized. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, as we are aware, the transitional government has decided to extend the transitional period for an additional 2 years, and CTSAMVM acknowledges that the signatory parties reached a consensus on this decision. It is important to note that this extension has significant implications for the future operations of CTSAMVM. The last academic plenary emphasized that the increasingly competitive demand for donors funding and the budgetary constraints faced by the various security mechanisms underpinning the RRCs. This presents a growing challenge for our missions, and we sincerely appreciate the support from the donor community throughout these years. It is essential to recognize that CTSAMVM is solely financed through our donors. We'll continue our efforts to secure the necessary funding of our future existence. However, we must also be pragmatic and prepare for the possibility that we may need to adjust our operational model based on available resources. Finally, I now welcome your active contributions and candid discussions. I hereby declare the meeting open. Thank you for your attention.